All right, welcome back to another video. It's Tuesday, and we're finally back to work. Had a good holidays. I hope everybody else had a good holidays. Seemed like the holiday just kept dragging on. I was ready to go back to work like a day after. But today we got our work cut out for us. As you can see, this is the door that closes up the alleyway here. We were shredding a silage bale, and a bale of, well, a little bit of silage was underneath the tire. Oh, this piece, I guess it was a lot bigger. Anyways, it was the wrong place at the wrong time, and it jumped the shredder up and it caught the door. It was just dangling on. We repaired this before. It's just a couple 2x6 stacked together and made kind of a really strong stud, but now we gotta make it better, so that'll be the job today. I'm gonna clean this up. We're gonna be able to attach the new 2x6 to the end of here. We just have to cut that flush, and then we're gonna have to box it in pretty good so it's strong, just so that it's kind of, I'm gonna divide the strength between a couple of the studs, so it's not just pulling on one stud sort of idea. I don't know, we'll see how that's gonna go. It's just a question of getting it all back together, standing it up after. I don't know if I'm gonna, I might unbolt the hinge and put the stud up, and then we'll lean it back up, put it on some blocks, and then bolt it back together, hopefully in the same holes. So we'll be doing that today. All right, so I've gathered all the tools from various parts of the farm. Now we can get going on. Well, first I'm gonna unbolt this 2x6 from the hinge so we can put up a new. I'm gonna probably not use this 2x6 anymore. I don't think so. It's gonna be too short anyways, so we're gonna unbolt it. All right, so we unbolted the 2x6 from the hinges, and now we just cut out part of the wall. This 2x6 is all rotten, so we're gonna have to unbolt it and block in a new 2x6 so we can put our stud up on that. And then we gotta put a couple cross pieces to hold the stud in properly. Takes a lot of strain, this stud. It has to be pretty strong. I was actually considering framing in a beam. I got a 6x6, or maybe even a 6x6 would probably do it. Put it in so it's strong. But I'm thinking maybe just 2x6 will do it again. Not too sure how I would frame that beam in so it's strong. So we're just gonna stick with 2x6 for now. I gotta get a wrench on here so I can get that off. So my second idea was putting a beam in there, and I found a nice beam here. This one was about 6 inches too short, but it is an 8x8, so we're gonna have to take it down on the sawmill to 6x6, so it fits on the cement pad perfectly. All right, there you have it. It wasn't even a nice 8x8. It wasn't even a nice 8x8, so we took that edge off. The other edge too wasn't so nice. So now it's a nice 6x6. So we got a couple 2x6, an odd set. It's just nice and dry too, so be perfect. Next we got to make the plates that are gonna go into the cement and hold the beam in place. You're gonna put lag bolts through here and cement bolts into there. But I gotta cut holes through it, and I don't want to drill them, so I'm gonna cut them out with the plasma cutter real quick, and then we can get going. All right, so that's the idea. I'm gonna have a plate there. I just made another one too. We're gonna have to probably move it over a little bit, and this is gonna get in the way obviously now. I was thinking at first just to put one, so I can put one beam flush here, then just attach it like that. But there's a lot of weight, there's actually a lot of pulling force this way from the door hanging. No, it's not hanging, it's on a wheel, but it's still a lot of flexing going on, so I figured I'd better off to put two. So like so, but then we're gonna have to cut this off. But that holds our stud wall, I believe. Mind you, I don't think that I don't think they put very many to hold that wall in. I think there's literally just one. Anyways, was not built to code. So we'll probably get that out of the way or build around it. We'll have to measure. All right, the beam's in place. Got to use the big wooden mallet. It's pretty fun to use. Now I'm just drilling cement with this Makita piece of junk. And well, we're gonna have to go to the corded one because this just doesn't do it. Batters are good, just not good enough for doing stuff like this. It takes quite a bit of power, so we're gonna go get an extension cord and get the battery or the corded drill, hammer that out. As for this side, we're pretty close to the stud, and our bracket doesn't. God damn, it's slippery. Okay, so yeah, the hole is not quite in the right spot for the stud to go through, so we have to blast pretty much straight to the corner so we can get that in there. And then yeah, gotta get drilling on that hole. All right, so we got this one drilled out and the anchors tapped in. Still got to do the other side. I lag bolted it first so that it wouldn't move, and then I drilled them. This one is a little bit on the edge, but if I run it at an angle, I think I might be able to get it in. We just gotta tighten these bad boys up now. I've snapped them off before. You gotta go easy on those, especially with these guns. They snap anything off, so I think that's good enough. It's a word that goes around the farm a lot. Good enough. Anyways, let's give this a shot here. Gonna have to invest in a camera stand. Also, I think I might get a GoPro eventually, even though I really hate GoPros. Pine it'll rip out pretty easy. Yeah, starting to rip. Anywho, two's good enough anyways. I want to say it's moved. I gotta check the level again. I really hope it didn't move though. Good enough. Especially on this barn. That's probably the straightest thing on this barn. All right, we'll get the other side done. I blasted out the piece of metal that was in the way, so now we're gonna put some lag bolts in. Obviously we can't get to that back one, but I'm not a perfect engineer here. Get that in. Devin's hauling silage. Run the chuck into the metal. You want to make sure you get right to the bottom, otherwise these suckers are going to bottom out before they're flush, and then you'll never get them out. Alright, so they're all drilled. I ended up having to use a smaller anchor, and we ran out of the big ones, and we're on to these little, I don't even know how they work. They're kind of junk. So I managed to find one like this, but it's just a smaller. I could see that snapping real easy. Anyways, we're gonna actually try getting this square nut back on, but our clearance to the plate is very minimal. So we'll crank that down, and that will anchor us down also. So even if this little one doesn't work out, we got a big 5/8. That's not going anywhere. And then we gotta do something about the top. Might just put a plate flat on and anchor them in, or go from the top. There's many ways of doing it. We'll think about it. All right, so that little one pulled out right away, so we're not actually gonna put anything there. The top, I found this plate in the shop. You can tell it's been used for something else, but I don't know what it was for, so it's good for there now. Just need 2 more lag bolts and a new battery, and then we'll be able to hang this door. All right, the door's back up. Devin brought the loader and threw it up. You can go back to hauling hay. So what happened was the hinges ended up being backwards. So what we should have done, we should have folded it so that we bolt them on this side. But the door is heavy and it was already up this way. So we managed to just lag them in like that. These lag bolts are so strong, they actually bend the plate as they start to tighten. So this is well overdue, this door. And now we're gonna try closing it. And I cursed and swore every time I closed this door because it was so hard to close. But basically you can push it with one hand. Look at that. So we ended up putting on 2-inch blocks, and then we screwed it in. So that wheel is literally just coasting, which makes it perfect. Otherwise, all the weight on that wheel, it just doesn't roll good enough. So I'm glad how it turned out. Now we just got to close this up with some 1-inch boards. I'm super glad I used a beam. So yeah, on to the next thing. Maybe we can fix this too. Still gets caught on that broken cement. Oh no. Oh, you see, it's out of its track. It used to come here, now it's here. We'll bust the crap out of that cement there. Well, it must be one of those days. Usually it's on Monday everything breaks, but it's Tuesday today and everything's breaking. As for this door, it's fixed. It was broken this morning, but now Devin's been hauling silage, and the axle pretty much ripped out of that wagon, so he's got to unload it all. I don't know if he's gonna unload and try to fix it, or I don't know. Anyways, I got this hole in the cement that the wheel keeps falling into. I got to get this somewhat fixed. I was thinking of pounding in a piece of oak in here just to fill the hole, just so it can run over. I don't know how well that's gonna work. Just cut it off flush once it's in, but give it a go. So this is what broke on the wagon, and instead of unloading it, he loaded it back up, and he's gonna probably take it down the road. Why, I don't know, but that's Devin for you. So that hole with the wheel falls into is just a crack in the cement. I cleaned it out as much as I can. I'm pounding this oak into it. I need some more strength here. I'm gonna cut it off flush. Maybe it's gonna be like a little wooden bridge for this wheel to get through. All right, so that's what that looks like. Pound it in. I still gotta get it flush. It still sticks out a little bit, but it's better than having a hole. You can see it gets stuck there. Yeah. All right, that's as good as it's gonna get. You know, it's been running in this track for 30 some years, maybe 40, and now it's running on the outside, so it has no idea what's going on. But it passes over pretty good. It's just the coming back part. See, it passes the wood, it just gets caught up on this side. So maybe a bigger wheel will work. Don't have one, but for now that's how it's gonna work. Gonna have to have a run at it. Enough of this. Just quickly closed up the side here with a couple oak boards. I didn't know were oak, but I had to pre-drill everything. So this project is done. We're gonna clean up and head to the shop and work on that loader. Take those cylinders out. All right, so we're gonna start working on this. We gotta take these cylinders out because they leak. The seals are done. We're gonna do both sides since we're here. So we just gotta disconnect lines and pull pins, and then we can, we're gonna bring them to a shop. They're gonna either make their own custom seals or order some in. So let's see what, how hard that's gonna be. Shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. These Germans though, they always find something. Well, maybe it's a loose fitting. We'll have to see. Dig into it. All right, so we got the lines off. They came off pretty easy. There's one down under there. That was no problem. Now is the pin. Our maintenance is pretty good on greasing loaders, so they should come out pretty well. Just have to find exactly. Should be a snap ring. Or no, oh yeah, it's a bolt, easy, perfect. It's probably a 3/4. All right, the first cylinder's out. Actually pretty impressed how well they came out. Bushings are still pretty good on these. Pins are a little bit, you have a little of a groove you can feel, but nothing like those pins down there. The bushings inside are still there. It's a good sign. All right, so we'll get to the other side. Goes pretty easy. All right, Devin's bringing in the back end of the hay wagon that broke. They're all old and worn out, but we don't let them die. So now we're gonna fix them good. All right, those are the cylinders all cleaned up. Took a couple squirts of brake cleaner and a rag or so. Got them all clean. Now, we're gonna go send those away tomorrow. I think it's a little too late now to bring them. But we're gonna take a look at this running gear for the rear of the hay wagon. We've fixed these so many times, and as you can see, it's just a really bad design because we've got this flat bar essentially sitting on this round tubing that's really relying on just that weld. So we've always fixed them. This is basically what we fix, and they always break right at the weld. So my idea is we're gonna take everything apart, and we should really just, it should be a full axle going through, I think, but then you can't, then the axles can't independently move from this side to that side, you know. So it has to have some sort of tube where it slides into, just so that it's stronger as a whole piece, but it still moves individually. Or I don't know, some other design other than this. These wagons are from the 80s, I believe. So they're getting old and the loads are getting heavier. So the bales are getting way heavier, especially loads of silage. So, all right, we're gonna wait till tomorrow to get at this. It's around 4:30 now, so we'll have fun with that tomorrow. We'll bring those cylinders to the shop. And who knows what else we gotta do. I know we gotta do the pins on the bottom here. They're pretty worn out. These pins too are starting. I mean, for 13 or 12,000 hours, it's bound to have some problems. This is the original bucket from the first loader that we bought. We're on our second loader now, so this thing has probably 20,000 hours on it, but we can't use it anymore for obvious reasons. It's basically just so we can take the loader off and we don't have to waste an implement in the shop. So, all right, thanks for watching.